Hey, welcome to another episode of the Goalpost, and I'm joined by Sihle and Mike. What's happening,
Yo, what's
gents?
up, bro? Real
Yeah.
good on your side?
No, I'm okay, Mike. And I can't complain with me, bro. Mina, yapete tlapinyam, so I'm not even gonna, say much, But yeah, man, what a wonderful game. I'm sure you guys enjoyed that game. Like that 2-2. That was one of the best
Yeah, good
games this
game.
weekend.
Yeah. So here's the funny thing. You've got
Yeah.
a fan that lost a game over the weekend who's more positive than a fan who drew a game. And you're just looking south and you're saying everything is wrong from drawing a game. And we lost the game. We should be the ones going.
Nah, but Sihle, it's all about the manner in which we drew the game. How would you feel if you were 2-0 up? 2-0 up, that's like around the 70th minute. Celebrate 20 minutes, nyana, dog. And then Coutinho sub, just one substitution, destroyed everything, dogs. Coutinho came in and was like, I'm back, bitches. That's what he did on
It's
No,
that's
Saturday.
they,
Like,
basically
they were
it's
dominating your second half. Too.
yo, dude, it was
And as a
bad.
Chelsea fan, seeing United draw made me happy, bro. It softened my blow a bit. I
That's
went
like,
home. I went to bed with a smile on my face, man. Aston Villa made my day.
I'm not gonna lie. I watched that game.
yeah,
I'm with you, Mike, on that. There's a part of me, like deep down, I'm like, yeah, I remember the first league game of this season against Leeds, where I think you guys
yeah,
won what? What was the score? Like, I think you
yeah.
scored
We
like
won
5
5-1.
goals.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
5-1.
I remember, and there was so much positivity and energy that we're gonna smash everything that comes up because Pogba had 4 assists in one game, and
Yeah.
one person changes the game. You go from 2-0 to drawing with what's his name with Stevie G.
No, Sizotini. Hey, Sizotini. Hey, cheesy man.
Oh,
Hey, hey,
two by once.
ah.
Come back, Sizotini, dog.
Yeah,
madoda wena ngifike le ngifike ngiyabona
As bekumnandi, like it was all chill, it
friend,
was all good vibes.
show Mike ready.
so fit, friend.
I'm great mfana great wena
And I'm not sharp. And then I remember I told you on Friday.
I know ngitshele wena ukuthi usharp vela uthami I remember but we
Didn't I
haven't
tell you that
spoken
the
since
lineup was gonna make us lose? We're gonna lose because of the
I,
lineup.
so I think after
I told you
the,
that there were two people that weren't supposed to start on that team. One of them did.
Yeah.
so
Like
what
I
I did is
predicted.
Wait,
after the
so
show
let me guess.
after the
Wait,
yeah
yeah, see that?
Let
Yeah,
me
you
let
said
me
after the
guess.
show.
It was Mount and Rom that you said I shouldn't start.
Yeah.
At least one of them didn't start. At least one of them didn't start, Mike.
No. I think it's better if Mount started as opposed to Ron. And like I said, CJ has been advocating for this guy for how long right now since we purchased him. And I say it again, he doesn't suit Chelsea.
Yeah, no. Look, Mina. After the show after the results actually on Saturday, I went and I re-listened to the show. You can ask who Kolane. I went and I listened to the show, and I wanted to make sure with listen to this who's Kuruma they happen because I remember you said if you see one of them in the lineup when I really came was over, we're more or something.
Yeah.
But gents, if we're honest, I think
Yeah.
Kevin De Bruyne every time against Chelsea, he's got a personal vendetta against the Chelsea. Every time, without fail, he pulls a spectacular.
Look
Yes.
In the Champions League, Rudiger almost had to kill him, literally, in order to stop him. because there's the only way to stop his city is that if you stop that guy from making us tick. Look, he was incredible, but I think for me as well, what set it up, the goal, when Cancelo got that ball and he laid that
Yo,
perfectly
that
weighted pass.
pass
That pass was perfectly weighted. Pelu Kante was caught in between
was there. Yeah.
Kevin and on the other side of the ball, so he was already on the wrong side there. Which was for him. He rarely makes those mistakes. And Umaikwe, as we spoke about Kante in depth last week, we almost took out our guns and our knives just about that debate. and and I think Ukante showed Guti off the ball, yes, brilliant. But Nimonile, when he got onto the ball and he had to try to get it up to the guys up front, that's where he fell short. I felt in that game, and of course, the player like Mike up front was terrible. I think those Levi's jeans and those Timberlands he was wearing on Saturday made things worse.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think it was. I honestly, he's
So
had worse
now,
games.
Patala
I
Malini,
don't
Petro.
think. Hmm?
How much does he pay you to advocate for him?
I think it's on 350. I could be mistaken.
How
Let
much
me
does he
just check.
pay
No, no.
you to advocate for
He,
him, sir?
he's asking
Oh,
you how much do
yeah.
you pay for him?
I wish
No,
he
What
was
is
how
how
much
much?
does
paying me the
Lukaku
350.
pay Cisse to advocate for him?
Nah, my guy, it's that you're one of the certain players that you hope for redemption, because I think his career at Chelsea when he was still a child, he was still growing up. It was cut short, and he never really got the chance to prove himself. And I'm still going to advocate right up until the season end, where I then ask the question: Is Haaland available? If he is available, can we swap Lukaku in Italy and use whatever the balance is to try and lure Haaland? But yeah,
Yeah.
I'll always advocate for this boy. He didn't have a terrible game. He had that one chance, which was a brilliant save.
So he
I
didn't have
don't
a
think he had a
terrible
terrible
game.
game.
Petro,
Nah,
87, 82, 0. 54, I think his pass accuracy 54%. Petro, about likes of Ollie Watkins, about Tony from Brentford, Petro, they go away, better hold up play than this guy, Joe. For 300K a week. I am sorry. Mm-mm.
could be more. But
Mm-mm.
he's still my player.
Mm-mm.
But on the game itself, if we are honest, the better team won. And to be fair, City is just a step ahead of the rest, and it ends there. I think
Nah, dude.
they proving. Honest, that's my belief. I think even Liverpool right now they might pull their trickery of choosing which games to play and which games to ask to be postponed. They're not going to catch up with City. It's done for. Once Pep gets his side going, literally they can pull 15, 18 games without losing, and you can't fight against that.
Yeah.
To
So
be honest
so
with
when
you,
I
Petro.
definitely agree. Look, guys. Lukaku, Marquez, John Stones, and John Stones hasn't been playing first team football in a while. I mean, we didn't even put him in our preferred 11 like, on Friday when we did the show. So you can just see with everyone who comes into the team is ready. Everyone who comes into the team is understands what Pep wants him to do at that point in time. And I think it could have been worse. There were chances where the guys who weren't playing regular, Capo Foden and Abu Grealish, were supposed to punish and make the game more comfortable. But you could see Uti, they were a bit off the pace, off the ball. I mean, there was also a part where Lukaku literally made John Stones, Idibala, or Lala John Stones, and I had my heart in my mouth for a good 5 minutes during that period. But I agree, Sihle, the team is just playing really well at this point in time. There was an interview where Pep Ute, uh, we limited Chelsea to one shot on target in 90 minutes. It's
Mm.
Yeah,
it's it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I disagree. It's the
Yeah.
managers this game there, Nacho.
It's the
And I
manager.
say this, it's the managers this year, Nacho. You should have went with a similar lineup that we played against Liverpool. Nacho, when you play against it, you mustn't have that fear factor. Fana. You're the bloody champions of Europe, Antoine. And you're playing like you Brentford of this world, too. Relying on counter attacks. You know, it's a manager's Joe. Lukaku wasn't supposed to be in there. At least the Callum out on right wing back or
but
Pulisic. You put Havertz
but
in the
Mike,
middle.
but
Dude,
Mike, look,
that City team is that team. That City team, ne?
but
We're not talking about Barcelona of 2010, 2011, 2012, Joe. That team is beatable, Joe. It's just some team, it's just some coaches and they need to grow the balls to play the game when you play
but
against
but
City, Joe.
but Mike,
Nah,
when teams
aye,
when teams do that, when teams do
aye.
that, teams get smacked 5-6. If you
Five,
go
six,
into
dude,
that pitch and you're
dude.
not prepared, and you're not prepared. Look, Chelsea players. I don't think Chelsea players believe that they could beat City. That team that was out on Saturday, I don't think they believe they could beat us. Even themselves. There was, I think,
Dude,
there was no guts in some of the players. I think there was a strong limitation in terms of Aspilicueta. Aspilicueta didn't want to go past the halfway line.
no, but
Alonso
the thing is,
already in 5 minutes, 10
I
minutes, he
think
had a
maybe
yellow card.
that was an
no,
instruction
but the
from the
thing is,
manager.
Yeah.
it's the lineup, too. And I think we all knew, you know what? We don't have James, we don't have Phil, ne? So our wing backs are not attacking back, ne? You were either supposed to put Callum Hudson-Odoi out in right wing back or Pulisic just to give our Cancelo that bit of thought in their head with, okay, sharp, if we attack, we also need to defend. But if you go there and
Yeah.
play a defensive setup and say to high, Joe, you've already thrown in the towel, Joe. And I say this again, dude. In fact, the Chelsea team of yesteryear could beat the City team, Joe. It's just to see the manager like balls by playing that stupid lineup, Joe. We all knew what we were gonna. We all knew, and I said this on Friday. Which if we play that lineup, we were gonna lose, and which
Yeah.
I was right. You know what I
Now
mean?
you're right.
City, that you can't beat them if you attack them. But if you come there playing defensive court, I mean, just like if Rom played against Liverpool, we would have lost. Rom does not win. How do I say? Romelu Lukaku doesn't have BMT. 13.
Yeah.
His teams
Every-
always struggle against big teams.
yeah.
And he
I wonder
continue playing.
if
Nah, don't know, it's too close. And if he continues like this, in fact, you must get the sack. You know what I
Damn.
mean?
Already,
I don't
Mike.
know. Aye,
nah,
Already.
Mike, I think it's too
Ah,
early.
no, no, Mike. No, Mike. No, Mike.
I
nah.
think
No, Mike.
I think
Mm-mm.
Already,
it's too
man.
early. Uh, it's
That's
if it was up to
if he
Mike,
continues.
he would send
No, 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 no.
out on loan.
Mm. Sorry.
It's if it was up to you, you'd send Urom out on loan in this January period.
Brings him 10 years, Sacho. He doesn't suit the style of play, bro.
Damn.
He simply doesn't. You rather go to Aston Villa, get yourself an Ollie Watkins. Even that Tony guy's got a better hold up play, too. Giroud, we let go of Giroud. In fact, Giroud has got a better hold up play than Lukaku.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're so big and you always want to just run in between channels, too.
Mm. But I think he's got the pace,
And
Mike,
you
dog.
no, yeah, in fact, you're not mobile enough. In fact, you
I
don't have
mean,
the
even
technical skills. You,
But
in
on
fact,
the conversation,
you don't have the technical skills for that, too. Like
yeah.
when you see Lukaku on the ball, in fact, you see a player that's unsure, too. He doesn't look comfortable on
So,
the ball, but I'm sorry.
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm sorry, Joe. I
But
nah,
but
don't.
again, but again, like I was saying, I think at Inter, Lukaku was, yes, when he had to play that hold up play and that hold up game, he struggled as well because he doesn't have a good first touch. So those smart guys who roll the ball on his side because he knows how to shield players. I mean, there was a point in the game where they played that ball in and he literally pushed John Stones out of the way. And it
Yeah.
wasn't that was a well paced ball. Uti, when Kovacic made that pass, it was perfect pace, perfect line, and Lukaku could get into it. Even the chance there, Ederson saved. That was a
Yeah.
brilliant pass. And those are the situations Lukaku thrives on. Yabo?
Yeah.
So so
and
initially in that
crosses and
interview, a
incoming
corner.
crosses.
Yeah, and also in that interview where Lukaku was speaking about this whole Inter thing, he wasn't saying, like, I think also context of that message is that he wasn't saying he doesn't want to play. It's just that the style of play that the coach is trying to get him to play isn't really suitable for him. Well, it doesn't favor his way of playing, and for him to readjust again is another problem that he's going to have. So
Mm.
Inzima mfethu mina, the situation of that is a bit difficult, and especially if you guys, your fullbacks weren't getting across on the sides. You guys weren't getting on past the halfway line to get crosses in.
But whose
Uziek,
fault was
look,
that?
how poor was Ziyech? How poor was
Yo,
Ziyech?
he was terrible. He
Yeah,
was
he's
No,
terrible
he
he's
was
he's
Ziyech,
terrible.
like,
Look,
Yeah.
he's been
honestly,
on a decline. He's been on a decline for the past the whole of December. I think he got injured. When he came back from that injury, he's just been on a downward spiral. And I was hoping would he'd go to AFCON, but it looks like he's got personal agendas with the manager, and they dropped him. So I was like, okay, cool. Now they will give him a chance to up his game. But yeah,
no,
it's not going well for him.
no. Look, I think
yeah,
yes, all our attacking players are not the greatest right now, ne? And I think you need to start looking at the manager and the way he sets up. And
Um,
no, you can't say that we've got over 300 million worth of attacking players. All of them are shit.
yeah,
Yes,
Pulisic is
and
not
it's
like
form.
defensive. Yeah,
It's it's form,
our defensive side is good, but I mean, Fitz, you
Yeah.
can't be playing five defenders and expect what your attacking team is going to be doing well, Fitz. You can't. Fitz. Like we all knew with the shit, is Alonso really going to trouble Kyle Walker? Is as Piliqueta's pace is gone, so you need to rather get Pulisic to right wing back or Callum out there, so. You can't go, that's Fitz, you can't go with the defensive mindset if you're the bloody champions of
but
Europe. So.
but Mike, it's form. You guys haven't
Yeah.
won in what, past 8 games? You don't have a win. You only have one win in 8 games, isn't it? In the league now. It's
Yeah,
form.
Fitz,
no,
Players,
you don't
no.
abandon
players.
you don't abandon your style or you don't abandon playing attacking football just because of a few bad results. Fitz. You know what I mean? And I think it's the reason why we drew a lot of those games because these guys weren't attacking enough. So they weren't creating enough
Nah,
opportunities.
I think it's exactly what Sik was saying, where it's form. Pulisic is not firing on all the cylinders.
All
I
of
mean,
them
I
are
was
not
reading
firing. So ever since
I was
FIFA
I
came in,
was
all of them are not firing. So
I was reading
all
a
of them,
stat
even
that defenders have got more goals than the attackers at
Yeah. I
Chelsea,
mean, isn't Reece James your top goal scorer?
and he's been injured for how many games now?
Yeah.
but that's
So
a
that
problem.
says a
It's
lot.
that it's Tuchel's fault. So over since he joined the Fetu, you can't say go to the whole attacking Fetu is shit. I mean, when we were deciding the lineup on Friday, I was like, Ato, you know what? Front three, you can put all Man City players there because I bet they're all nonsense. So
Yeah,
he
no,
needs
I
to
agree. You
change the
did say that.
system. He
Yeah.
needs to change the
Yeah.
system. It doesn't suit our our attacking play, Fetu. It doesn't.
Yeah.
You
I
you
think it also
rather.
doesn't suit
I
him.
mean.
I think,
Hmm?
I think it also doesn't suit him. The fact that he wants to get, this is the tried and tested way of Chelsea. So Chelsea, we all know now, is a back five team, or three centre backs with full backs. We know that's their stock standard. And I feel for him, he's also trying to make that work for him at a point in time. And I think as well, you guys were what, 6 points ahead of us in the first 10 to 15 games or so, or 10 to 11 games in the league. And
Right now, you
you
guys
guys
are
were
13
playing
points
well.
ahead.
Yeah, you guys were playing well. So that consistency faded. Once you lose Reece James, which is your João Cancelo, he's a creative player. He's attacking. He looks to score goals, and he's also very quick in recovering when you're defending. Same thing with Chilwell. It balances your side out because now you don't only, it's not only that you have five defenders. You have three centre backs and two wing backs, and those guys are trying to get up the pitch and they're trying to create chances for the rest of the team. I mean,
Yeah,
before Ulrich left, Yana Chilwell were already competing with Alexander Arnold for my assist and goal scored. So I think he just needs to find his right formula. A league is not easy. Like I always used to tell them, a league is not easy. Winning the league is not easy, man. 30 something games, you need to be as consistent as hell to beat other teams. In tournament, you have a Champions League, you can go when in double up, uhlangane nabo Inter Milan, uhlangane nabo AC
Next
Milan,
thing you
uhlangane
know,
nabo
you're in
ufike
the
final.
semi-finals, two
Yeah.
games.
Yeah, so go
That's true.
final. And it's a game. And it's a game. On the game, you can go and win the final. That doesn't mean, Gucci, you're this incredible side. Doesn't mean that situation. But if you can dominate 16 teams on a regular basis in your league or 18 teams in the Premier League, then it's a different story. And
Yeah.
that's where I think Chelsea's struggling right now in this point in time,
No,
trying to
look,
find that balance.
no,
it's
I
those
agree
draws
with you,
that
ne? I
Yeah.
agree
Mike.
with you, but I think it's at the end of the day, it all comes down to Tuchel, ne? If you watch this Tottenham game, ne, I think the recent games prior to Man City, we
Yeah.
were playing three at the back with one of the other wing players coming into midfield. My thing is, why change it? Too? We're more attacking. I guess even Liverpool, it was the exact same similar setup where we were playing
Yeah.
three. There was three. And so when we attack, it comes a four at the back. The other wing back goes into midfield,
Yeah.
And then now, why change it?
Yeah.
Why
But
change
Mike,
something
dog.
that was progressing?
But
It
Mike,
was
dog.
working.
This is Man City though, dog. It's not Tottenham,
Still, I
bro.
don't care if
Man
it's
Yeah.
City when it comes to
Barcelona.
ball retention. But
No,
the
Mike, you
issue, the
can't say
reason
that.
why Man City charge you guys is the ball retention aspect. I was even telling Cecil. When it comes to ball retention and holding on to that ball, there's no team that does it as well as Man City. And as
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
City never
How
give
about
away
Brighton
yeah, no,
Brighton
they,
outplayed Man City too. Man,
yeah,
Man City is not Nkulunkulu too. Those
yeah,
guys
they're
can be
not.
beaten if you play attacking football. The
They're
minute you put
not.
about Lukaku there, the guys that can't press, that was already when you lost the game. When you go
Yeah,
and you're not playing another attacking player, it's already, you're going to
but
lose it. They're going to keep on the ball. In fact,
but
Man
Mike,
City players are human beings, in fact. This is the
yeah, they
exact
are.
same Kevin De Bruyne that wasn't able to make Chelsea team a few years ago, too. That's on
nah,
Nkulunkulu, too. It's a coach, too. Yes, yes, he's a better player. Don't get me wrong, he's a better player. But
Yeah,
people are not. It's
yeah,
not here. We got Nkulunkulu,
but
Jesus walking around the field. So these guys are
yeah,
human beings.
Yeah.
yeah, it's true. It's
Especially, I
just
think
that.
in life, in fact, that's like everything in life. In fact, if you go there with that whole mindset, that you're gonna be defensive. In fact, you've already lost the game.
Yeah,
You've
no, no,
already
no,
lost the
that's
game.
true. That's true. It's
You
just that,
already, if you
Mike.
go with that
Yeah,
inferiority complex, in fact, anyway, whether footballing or in life in general, so you've already lost.
yeah,
Do you know?
yeah,
The two games. The two games we lost this season. Both of those teams played defensively. They were so
yeah.
good defensively. They were
Nah,
when we have a ball, they just put two lines of four at the back line. We try to break through those two lines of four. And I remember the game against Crystal Palace. Zaha was incredible at that time. Whenever you got the ball to him, you could feel with the SS man. You could see
Yeah,
with their minds at any point. And that's how you beat the City. You don't try to match them with the ball play. I mean, I saw there was a point where they tried to when they got the ball, when Chelsea got the ball and they tried to pass it around.
hey,
Passing around, yeah, isn't trying to move the City from left to right. Whereas, when we're playing with Rodri one is swing. Rodri
yeah,
plays in that center alone. He's so confident with it. We put one guy who's defensive, and he's so good on the ball as well. There's a difference between Ukant, and that's where we had that little fight last week. We were not a fight, but argument, discussion with it. Rodri is a different different model to Ukant. And for depending on how you want your team to play, you'll find ukuthi Tuchel would prefer to play Jorginho. But because it's a big game, and Jorginho angeke amake abo Kevin nabo Bernardo, because the pace is so high,
yes.
he has to play Ukant. He has to play Ukant. And I also asked you, Mike, last week, on last week Friday, which is, why can't he play a back four? Why doesn't he want to play a back four? A back four suits the situation that can't. Ukanduba Lapine is just a disruptor, and we have two guys who can play the ball in Kovacic, in Jorginho.
yeah.
But Manje, if you want to play that back five, you take out the fact that he can't have Hasuk ball as well as Jorginho, as well as Kovacic. And
perfect.
for me,
Humble
that's
who's the
that's where
coach
you fall
that.
short.
Go ask the coach that. Like I said, if
Nah,
you're
but I
taking
think
things running, go ask
we,
him
we
that.
can we
You're gonna
nah
get the
we can
sack
we
too.
can
If he continues, yeah, he's gonna get the sack too.
nah. I don't
Our
think this
managers
season.
don't love you. Yeah. In fact, too,
I don't think this
look at it
season.
this way,
I
man.
think it's still
Tomorrow
a
we
bit
Yeah,
play
too early.
Brighton. No, say to teams have got games in hand on us, man. If they play the games on hand and actually win, we can find ourselves only 2 points between us and fifth.
Don't
Within a
stress,
space of a
man.
month. Within a
Don't
space of a
stress.
month.
You found in third. You see second, third. You guys have solidified that
No, I'm not
position.
talking about Man United. I'm talking
No,
about
man, why are you shooting?
Tottenham.
Why let's go there, dude?
Why
Yo,
are you shutting? Why are you
I'm not
firing
talking
shots
about
at
Man
me?
United.
Nah,
I'm talking about
nah.
Arsenal
we
and
were trying not
Tottenham.
to go there. We were trying not to go there, Mike,
I'm
and
not
you went
talking
there.
about Man United too.
Okay, Mike. Go.
Yeah, Mike. What Arsenal's
Hi.
got they've got what 2 games in hand. That's what 6 points. But the point difference, 6 points. But the point difference, we're sitting on 43 points. They're sitting on 35.
Okay.
So we're still
Yeah, but
comfortable.
so comfortable. Who's gonna get us the goals in City? Oh, the whole forward line is shit. Manos will score, and now we have
That's
to be
true.
praying that we don't concede goals.
No, man. Like, I still think your team is good enough, Mike. Like, okay, yes,
I
you guys
No, the
lost
guy
against.
needs to change tactics. If it's against
Yeah,
Tottenham, it was Rudiger who scored. No, now against when we played Tottenham again, I think it was Havertz, and I forgot who the other goal scorer was. But I think it
yeah,
was a defender again. If you
Yeah,
go check at the
good point.
stats and say our defenders have outscored our attacking players.
Yeah, that's where we are right now. But
Our
remember,
defenders are more of an attacking threat than our attackers.
Yeah,
yeah. Be like Liverpool,
isn't
bro.
Rudiger
Be like
third highest?
Liverpool, pretty
Mm.
much. Like even with Liverpool over the weekend, Trent and Robertson both had assists.
Yeah,
So you pretty
which
much
is
like
more
them.
than
There's many ways of skinning a cat, dog. You don't
of
necessarily have to
course.
skin
Of
it
course.
in the traditional way. There's many ways, dog. It's just that right now, you guys have lost Reece James, who is very, very important for you guys and very important for my fantasy team. So my fantasy team has
it's
also
our
going
team.
through the
Yeah.
most.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
like
if you have Rudiger, like fun.
yeah,
Rudiger,
he's
we have
solid.
Zama, man. Mm.
But that one is solid. That one, hey, nothing was
Yeah,
going
yeah,
past that one.
definitely,
Hey.
That guy
definitely.
is fighting. He's fighting for his contract, and not with Chelsea. He's fighting for his
Yeah,
contract with Real Madrid,
Yeah, Real Madrid.
with
yeah,
Yeah,
PSG. So he's
Bayern.
advertising himself.
Mm.
Bayern
yeah.
But
also,
who?
but I don't
But
think
Yeah.
who?
Bayern can pay the salary.
But who
Manje,
blaming?
manje, manje
I
wawuthiya
mean,
kusilva taka lapho.
what?
Ngifuna ukubuza wawuthiya kusilva wayadaka. Hello, Kevin benched that ball around him. Le ball adlule esiswini sakhe la uthiya kusilva uyadaka.
Hey,
And
man.
I think maybe he feared handball. I don't know because I
Yeah,
wanted the minute that Ukante lost to Kevin, I knew we were in
yeah,
trouble. I was like, yeah, and the thing is, I was hoping with Kevin passes it either to Sterling because Sterling was crap,
oh
or,
my
yeah,
God.
yeah, I was hoping with he passes it. I decides no, he's not gonna pass it. The minute
yeah,
he shot, I knew I game over.
Yeah, I think for me, Jack was probably the worst City player on the pitch.
yeah. He
For
was.
me, he was terrible. I think that the chance that he got showed proved it.
Ish.
I mean, he
Yo,
didn't. There was no confidence there. Lele bola uyalisondeza nje nge-one touch, second touch, back corner, wherever. Place lele
yeah,
bola because the keeper's already here. Wasishayisa ngokhepa le,
Price,
washayisa ukhepa.
his price is heavy, and I'm seeing that
yeah,
right now.
So
His
so
price
it's not
is
that. Mina,
overrated.
Mina, Mina, if you're going to sign an English player, my brother, anyway, you're going to pay a lot of money. Oh, Declan Rice
yeah,
is 80 million now, or 100 million himself. So if it's an English player, you want to sign him, you want to pay that amount of money. But
No,
okay, listen,
Man
Clark.
United,
If you
Man
don't
United
judge
will
Pep
pay
signings on the first
120.
season,
yeah. I did say
don't judge Pep signings on the first season.
never.
Don't ever do that to yourself, man. People
Yeah,
were like, hey, well, White Pep didn't need Cancelo. We have one of the best right backs in the world. Hey, Cancelo's now is on everyone's mouth. When we speak
yeah.
about City, you have to speak about Joao Cancelo.
And Rodri,
And
dog.
oh yes,
Rod-
Rodrigo,
Rodri's
Bella
another
Foden
one.
is incredible, incredible
Yeah,
The
players
day
at
that
this current
the
point.
day that I found out Guti Rodri is like, when was it? It was last year. We was 24. I was
yeah,
asking myself, Guti, like, why other managers didn't scout this boy? Because he is confident, he's authoritative. I wonder if he was black, I would call him Yaya, because he is that
yeah,
player who he can control what's going on in the
Yeah,
middle of the
yeah,
park.
But how much has he improved since the first season? Pedro Rodri wasn't good in his first season.
Yeah.
He was very slow. He was very slow. He was very heavy. He wanted to have too many touches on the ball in that position as a pivot, and Pep was like, no, you don't. And he fixed it. Made him leaner.
Yeah.
He made him faster. He made him think more attacking. Tried to make passes over the top. You know, many times Rodri gets the ball and he plays a delicate ball behind the defense from a fullback cutting in or Sterling cutting in. He even did it against Chelsea. And that's the difference, I think, for me between him and Kante. Kante is incredible.
Yeah, but
And Kante could
I
walk
think
himself into any lineup.
I'm
Yeah,
in agreement with you, but I think there's certain players also that are going to feel the wrath of Pep. Pep doesn't take players that don't take themselves serious. Jack and Phil Foden are two. They want to be rock stars, and I feel if they haven't learned their lesson right now with the indiscretion, partying, and violating the COVID rules, and they will feel the wrath of Pep. Because I promise you, Pep, whether you are the staff, the team, the minute he turns his back on you, that's it. You're done.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. But
That's true.
I think, I think for now, um, the fact that Pep has this rotation policy of his, he tries to rotate
Yeah.
his team, try to keep his team as fresh as possible. Jack Grealish, they learned their lesson. Why actually benched December? December when they sat on that bench. Babugel. He made them watch the team. Pep, there was a time when Pep was complaining about the five substitutions, and he didn't make a sub for the whole game. He didn't make a sub. Why should I have benching Babugel? He didn't make a sub the whole game. Pep.
Yeah.
Um, and
They're
and
just one
and those are the
incident
things you
away
appreciate.
from being in his bad books.
But what Pep will punish and won't sort of mince his words on is players who want to leave. If you want to leave, Pep tells you, my brother,
Right.
there's the door.
Yeah.
He doesn't fight you. He doesn't stop you. He tells people. He tells Tiki Pakistan, just get a good deal for him, so that we can fund money to get Haaland. Every time he says that, just make sure you get a good deal so you can fund money. There's lots of players around this. About Brahim Diaz. So Brahim Diaz thought he can go to Real Madrid at 20 and play there. That's not a chance.
Yeah.
There's lots of guys who try to do that,
Even
and
Sancho
Pep,
as well. Sancho
yeah,
as well is
Now,
another one.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
but
go,
but
and find out
speaking
quickly. Young me around.
yeah,
Yeah.
but speaking of funding, if we decide to be honest, I honestly think City at some point flouted the financial fair play rules, and they are, yeah, like
No,
I look at it,
no,
some of the signing, no,
no.
okay.
No,
If you're
City right
speaking
now
today,
is
because you
a
say I'm heartbroken, but I
no,
promise you, I think
Yeah.
no
everyone
way,
that looks at this can see what you flouted the rules, and that
no
fine that you
way,
paid
no way,
was
no
a
way,
smack.
Vito, no way, no way, Vito. Right
I
now,
promise you.
Coach Guti, we've just overtaken Man United as the most profitable club in Manchester.
Yeah.
We're more profitable than it. This is the first time in the history of Manchester City that we've been more profitable than Man United. And
That's
coach,
dog.
financial fair play is seven Zanjal. Financial fair play works on that. We've got money from selling Usani. We got money from selling Uferrad. We got money from we didn't sign any players last season. We had 100 million to spend. Pep went and bought a Grealish.
Hmm.
And that's what it is. And you'll never hear people being like, oh, you sign an English player for 100 million in the British media. They'll never criticize anyone if you sign an English player. But you go
No,
and
no, it
sign
wouldn't.
someone else for 100
Hmm.
million. My brother, you'll feel the wrath. They will tell you the way to get off those English media. Man.
Yeah.
No,
But
I
but
think for
also
Right.
every for if you buy English, you must put in a premium of 20 million on top of whatever you are willing to pay, or whatever the play is valued at.
yeah, yeah,
Just put in an extra 20 million. That's the premium that they go for. Even so, 100 million, but it's fine. As I said, the better team won over the weekend.
so
Congrats to you. I think we are going to
how,
bounce back. I had a look at our next couple of games. We will definitely bounce back. But I want the second position. I don't want the third position. And then speaking of English transfers, Declan Rice to Man City for 125 million. I think it would be a good buy for Man United.
Yeah.
Man
Same money to
United.
Man City.
Nah,
Man
dog.
United.
Yeah.
So,
Nah,
so what I'm saying, before
So
you even go
why don't you guys go to
there,
the French league and buy players, Joe?
exactly.
if
Thrift shop,
I
dog.
mean,
Thrift shop.
think of it this way, Petu, Bisu. If you can't justify, I mean, if you can't justify 100 million, got Jack Grealish, where he has more goals, more assists, he's a critical player for Aston Villa, and then you go and you buy Declan Rice, who doesn't score goals, who doesn't assist or create chances, and you have to pay the same amount of money for him. Who's getting robbed? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Be careful of what you say. With Declan Rice, they are getting something they don't have. So it's always you should always view it as it's something I don't have that I need. So
I disagree.
okay. Let's start.
Wait, so
Okay,
what? You're getting a midfield destroyer.
yeah. Let's take
Yeah,
a
So
we
you
step
have
can
like
back.
go
4
to
midfield destroyers.
Monaco. You got Monaco about Tutumani.
My
There's
G.
players there. There's even
My
that
bro.
other one.
You could buy
That guy
Zakaria.
from that guy
Zakaria
from
No.
from
Brighton.
Gladbach.
You know
Yeah.
that bro? Who's that Brighton guy?
Indeed.
Who's that CDM at Brighton?
Bisuma.
Bissouma. Where's Bissouma?
Basuma, that guy is better than Yo, that guy is Nandi too.
Yo,
No, but
Bisuma can play, bro.
Zakaria. You know
Yeah.
Zakaria from Gladbach.
And you know how
That
much
guy
is
is a
available
gem, bro.
from? Do you know how much
Hmm?
is available from?
Yeah, it's
Six
like 40
million.
million. Yo,
Six.
6 million.
Six. Six, bro.
Yo,
Six.
that's crazy. That is
But watch
crazy,
Man
dude. That is
United, dog.
crazy.
It's time to, we like shopping at Spitz. It's time to wear Spitz.
Yeah,
It's time to get Louis
yeah,
Vuitton,
yeah,
Versace, you
yeah.
know.
But you don't even get the quality.
And you see, we even buy fake, dog. That's my problem, dog. We buy
Yeah,
fake
yeah,
Louis and
yeah,
shit, dog.
yeah.
Like, hey,
No, but
See,
but
oh,
he's
what's
like,
available for
what's
6 million. That guy from
yeah.
what
Gladbach, who is it?
oh,
Yeah,
Zakaria.
Zakaria. Yeah, he's already for 6 bar, euros.
He's proper. He's a proper CDM,
Dude.
bro. Proper
And he
CDM
starts and he
Zakaria.
starts for Switzerland. He's constantly playing. He plays for Switzerland, and we
Yeah,
know, guys,
yeah.
Switzerland are a problem, especially internationally. Like they're the ones that knock France out of the Euros. I mean, they're a team that are very strong as a collective, bruh. And he's the
Like,
destroyer. So for me, I feel
dude,
like United needs to change their policy. This thing of buying premium players needs to end. We need to go back to what we were before. We were never a team that buys premium, dog. Maybe once in a while. Berbatov. Who else?
Van Persie.
Rooney. But
from Persia?
Van Persie, we got him for 24, bruh. His contract was running down, so he was premium, but 24 bar wasn't a lot for him at that time. But back in the day, Fergie was very frugal and was very smart in his recruitment. See, now our issues are recruitment. We're just buying players and giving them crazy wages. And then when it's time for us to sell these players, we struggle. You know, look at Martial. Martial is on 250, bruh. Who's gonna
No
pay
one's
him
gonna pay him
250
that
for
much.
Martial?
And you heard Martial. Apparently, word is with the media. He refused to be on the side this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said he didn't want to be in the side. He wants to force a move. He doesn't want to play for United anymore. He
Who's
wants
gonna
to
pay
leave.
him those wages? That's my
Yep.
thing, bro.
Yep.
Because
And Man United, that's what they're asking for. Man United is saying he can go, but it's as long as the
yeah,
team gonna pay all his wages. And
yeah,
who's gonna pay 250K, bro, for Martial?
yeah,
He
but
plays
my
plays
G?
like 5
Plays when
games
he
a
wants.
season.
Wait,
Ah,
Yeah, when he
maybe
wants.
maybe Newcastle, eh?
Nah, even Newcastle, they
He
won't
said
get
he's not
robbed like that.
interested. He said he's not interested. He said he's not interested.
you see, he's also not serious about life if he's not interested about moving. Because right now, no one. That's the thing. When you sign these contracts and you know you're not
How
dope, what do you expect? Teams are not gonna. They're gonna look at you and then they're gonna look at their other team. Like for instance, I think Martial is around Salah, or maybe he earns more than Salah, bro. Like, come on, that's what you think of. I mean, if you're a Klopp, you're gonna look at Martial and you're gonna look at Salah. One is running to be like he's fighting to be the best player in the world. The other is nowhere near those levels. And now you gotta pay 250. Come on, bro. And so that's the thing
nah, he's
about
what
United. We need to go back to our old ways and take our L. Like I was even telling a friend of mine who supports United, Ulamek. You know Ulamek, Anti. Ulamek from Span. I told him, I'm like,
yeah.
bro, let's take our L, bruh, and concede and say, you know what? Sidlalile ngemali, siwastile. We just purchase players for the sake of purchasing them. Now, with as philosophy, because Ralph, yeah, now he's not gonna be our manager at the end of the day. That's the reason why when people say Ralph Ranick out, it doesn't really make sense because he's an interim coach. He is not gonna be our coach at the end of the day. He's gonna move upstairs at the end of the day, you know. So once he moves upstairs and we get a proper manager, we now need to just recruit players who suit the system. If Bruno wants to give us attitude, let him rot on the bench. We'll take our losses. We'll continue paying him until his contract runs out. But at the end of the day, we need to get competent players in. Zakaria, 6 million euros is available. 6 bar, bro. What's 6 million, dog, to a team like Man United? It's not a lot of money, bruh. And then we
That
tell him,
guy, that guy is not
don't
gonna
look at
come
our
in.
wage bill. Our wage bill, ungayinaki, le yakudala le. The paperwork, le ama-statements wakudala. We're starting
Nah, but
off on a
he's
new
probably
ledge.
gonna demand it.
Then
So he's
we'll
gonna probably
find
he's
someone in
probably gonna
France.
demand 150 or something. But like
I
I
know.
said, I think Basuma would suit you guys. Eh?
Yeah, you see, even Basuma, dog. Basuma
Basuma
is
probably is like 40, 50
it's
million.
fine.
He's better than Rice too.
He is. He is. But people will never ever, the media will never ever put Besuma on the same lines as Rice, you know. But I agree with you, Mike. He is better, bro. There's many players who are better than our midfield because our midfield is our issue right now, Man United. We just get bypassed so easily. Teams have fun. Like, and I won't lie to you guys. When I saw Coutinho warming up, I had a feeling. I'm like, he's gonna cause some shit, bruh. He's gonna pull what? Remember when he scored a brace for Bayern in the Champions League against the Barca? He scored the seventh and the eighth
Yeah,
goal. I had a feeling. I'm
yeah.
like, ish, this is what's gonna happen. This nigga's gonna come and he's gonna do something. In his first 3 minutes, assist already. And I was like, yo, okay, we're gonna most probably draw this game, you know. And then when he scored, man, the anger, bro. I was like, if I can see this, why can't our manager see this? You know, I could feel it that,
But
bro,
then,
the game has changed and these guys are on to us, bro. Abo Ramsey, even this Ramsey kid, who's Ramsey, dog? Like, you know, Gerard, bro. Like, I mean, it's man, you
but
gotta give him credit,
I,
bro. Like, I can't
I
hate on him.
always, I think week in, week out, I always ask about Sancho, and then I've been labeled as a Sancho hater.
You're not, bro.
But
Man, 90 million,
You see what I'm saying, Mike?
do you know how much
90,
his
100.
wages are on?
He's on 350, Sancho. 350, and he's only
Yeah, but
21. 21, 350, man.
I mean, it's the same Sancho that was struggling to get into to England team.
My G.
Grealish was also struggling in the English team. It's like all the guys that were bought for over about 100 million, close to 100 million were flops this season.
Hey, dude, they
Come
were
to think
bad.
about it too.
Yeah.
And I think
That's
it's gone are the days, but sometimes you just gotta invest in your youth and just believe in them. Too. You save yourself
Look at
millions.
you guys have Frenchmen, Sa. I've been telling you, buy one, get five, one free league. France, dog. You go there, you are set, you're gonna
Nah,
find
but Sa is not good on the ball too.
He's not, but he's a defender, Oxalayo. When he was asked to defend, what was he doing? He
defending.
was
Yeah, he did the
defending.
job.
Sterling wasn't going
He,
past him. Whereas Alonso, he was a passenger, Alonso. Every time Sterling got the ball, he didn't
And
even
all of
hit him
his
with any
defense.
skill. He just controlled it and then pushed it forward at Masambi. Then homeboy couldn't, you see. Whereas when he tried it with Saar, what did Saar do? Stack man. You know, like Rudiger. I think he also Rudiger. I don't know who he cuts. I think it was De Bruyne. De Bruyne thought he could outrun Rudiger. Rudiger had to stack, not here, chief. You see,
really guys doing it for those FIFA stats and shit. Mama Ropile go FIFA. I remember when I think it was on YouTube, someone was complaining about it. He's like, me?
yeah.
7? I'm faster than a lot of these guys.
Hey, Rudiger,
That's why
I
you
know
can see
Rudiger.
him take those runs from the
Yo,
back all the way to the front.
yo, and he
But yeah,
moves,
once
bruh.
it starts
Yo,
going,
yo, I really get that. I'd also be scared if I was a baller, dog. But with that player is gonna eat me, bruh. And the point I tried it over the weekend, stack, clean.
But
fair
yeah, I want to
challenge.
speaking of the
Yeah,
French league.
yeah.
What's his name? That Leicester playmaker.
Which one?
Starts with the T. Ah, man.
Tillemans.
Elements.
Tillemans, yeah, Tillemans. I can see Arsenal yamfuna no.
Yeah,
And I can promise you right now, Leicester are waiting for the money to clear their account. Once the money is cleared their account, French league, 3 players next season. We're talking a
yeah,
different story. That's the business plan that Leicester
yeah,
uses. They don't mess around.
Yeah.
They're gonna sell him for a premium, 80 million, I think. And
yeah.
Arsenal is on 10.
But rightfully so. Tillemans iyadlala mfethu Tillemans. I don't know why teams didn't go for him when he was available. I mean, which team was he at? Yeah, he was at Monaco initially, né? And then they brought him to the Premier League, and then he was available for 40 bar. Monaco were like, still at just 40 million for Tillemans, and you can have him. You've got a player who can actually play football, and you also have a leader. Because Tillemans wears the armband at times for Leicester, you know. So Man United, because it's under my English players, we're like, nah, we find with Scott McTominay. Then you get these top rates saying Scott is fine. Guys, where's the standards, guys? Like, and another thing is that Scott plays centre back. Centre back for Scotland. Billy Gilmore plays in Scott McTominay's position for Scotland.
Umlisi
And
bench.
then we out here trying to justify and say, oh, this guy is a good player. He is not, bruh. He's not a Man United standard. He's nowhere near the Man United standard, bruh. And our fan base just needs to understand that, bruh. There are a lot of our players that are average at best. Look at Cavani as well. Cavani was terrible. Yo, the ball wasn't sticking. He was Lukaku 2.0, bruh. The ball was not sticking at all, bruh. And these strikers that play the way Cavani play, like these old school strikers, dog, they don't suit the modern day game. You now need to play like Benzema. You need to be competent on the ball. Actually, every single player on the field needs to be competent nowadays. It's not the same as back in the days where you'd get away with being a Klose, Miroslav Klose, or Felipe Inzaghi, bro, playing in the box. There's gone are those days, bro. Now everyone needs to know how to hold the ball, bro. You need to have some form of vision. I'm not saying you must be a Kevin De Bruyne as far as passing is concerned, but you need to just be competent on the ball. When the ball comes in, know how to control it, let it stick. And so that's what pissed me off over the weekend, bruh. Like the ball is coming to him. The first Tashake, boom. I'm like, dog, what are you doing? Just hold on to the fucking ball, bruh. Hold on to it, bro. That's all. And he wasn't even
But I
doing
think
that, bro.
also watching the game, I think you guys won the game in the first half. I don't know
Yeah,
when you went to the change rooms. The conversation was like, okay, gents, let's come it because when you came, you didn't come back second half. I
yeah,
didn't see anything that you can speak of that you did in the second half. And then the minute that you allowed Villa the opportunity, because Steven Gerrard actually was shouting at his players. That much I
yeah,
can tell you. He literally he went in on his players. And I think the minute that Coutinho came on, there was an air of excitement amongst the players that, oh well, we've got a Barcelona reject, so to say, but he is a big player. He's he's delivered before, and guess what happened? He
yeah,
delivered,
yeah, bro. And
and
even
you were
Buendia,
very
bro.
close. You were very close to losing that game. And I think had
Yeah,
you lost the game, I it would have been a tough one for you. It would have been a tough one
The
for
hair
you.
had four. The hair considered 2 goals, but on fantasy he had 4 points. That tells you a lot, bro. That means
Yep,
this nigga
yep,
was working
yep,
overtime. That
yep,
means this man
yep.
was working overtime, and he's been working overtime. That's one player for me personally. He's on 300, but I'm not complaining because he's always
Where's
working
Panel?
overtime. Yeah, hey, man, this man is always working up. Ungena ngo-8 uchayisa ngo-8 uDeheya, my menu. He's
Yeah, make
always
up
working
it.
overtime,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
All the
yeah.
time, bruh. And
And
really,
and and
like,
look, and with that being said, Goran, the problem is that he's the only one who's working overtime. If Wonku
dude,
Muntu did the same thing, everyone tried to put in the extra work in the gym and extra work on the grounds, it would make a difference. And
yeah.
See, I disagree with you. What can you do to improve Maguire as a player?
Ah,
Uh,
yeah. Hey, that one, dog. Don't even talk
So,
about that like that.
actually,
But
I
you know, it's a
so,
funny thing, man. He's so overhyped that time,
Yo,
due to
he's
the fact
English,
he's
bro.
English. If he
He's
was
English,
any other
bro.
Nah, and he
nationality,
believes his own hype.
they would have had him. They would have had him if he wasn't English, too.
And also, right now, I was speaking to my mate recently, and I'm like, right now, your team is only as good as your right back. I say that a lot. Like, your team is only as good as your right back. If you don't have a good right back, you're going to struggle because most of the time teams have good left wingers, left forwards, or left wing forwards, or whatever they call them now these days. They're usually the most dangerous people in the team. If you had to put Vinicius against Ntomanji, Wan
Cristiano.
Bissaka,
one Basaka. I know
Nah,
one
but one
Basaka,
struggle.
1 on
Bissaka,
1. Yeah,
he
was
can
Ungaka
defend,
one
too.
by one.
That
Yeah, he
guy
can
can
defend.
defend, too.
It's
He
just that on
can
the
going
ball.
forward.
So,
Going forward is
so
a
that's the
problem.
thing.
Hey, hey,
That's the
Crossing
thing.
is a
The thing is that
problem.
the thing is that if your fullback is enforcing the other winger to go the other way, if you're not forcing a winger to think about you as an attacking threat, then you also cannot defend the whole game. And a striker or a winger just needs one chance, man. Just
yeah,
needs one chance where one Bissaka doesn't make the tackle, or one chance where one Bissaka misreads the flight of the ball or something. That's all it takes. It's one chance. Attack
yeah,
a winger can engahluleka ukudribula for 89 minutes. Nge 90th minute dribble score.
yeah.
But if you're
That's
not
the
making
thing.
him think about going backwards in Fana, then that's the problem. And I think your team is only as good as your right back. Right now, you're huge downgrade, it is from us from Rhys James was Billy Quad. Huge downgrade.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, so I think it's another thing, and all these English guys in Fan, all these English guys are in these big teams because of their nationality.
yeah.
Overhyped, I think.
Very true.
Overhyped, dog.
Overhyped.
Overhyped. You
Exact
But
know.
same thing
in
about
other
Mason
news,
Mount with it.
Mason, no, you don't like Mason.
I am so
Mason
amazing,
saved,
yeah.
yeah, Mason saved thingy's career 2 seasons back, the manager's career.
Hmm?
But yeah,
No,
in other news,
look,
gents,
Mason,
Lampard.
go
he's a
for it.
good player, Joe. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong. It's just that he's overhyped. Exact same thing. Declan Rice, he's overhyped.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's
Jack
true.
Grealish at the time, he was overhyped.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Still
Okay.
is,
I
still
think
is.
it's a bit steep in front. No, Jack was really good. Jack was on the tip of the tongue of every player. Put people who are neutrals. People don't even watch Premier League. You're like, hey, Jack Grealish. And they were more on Jack Grealish. That quick, slow that Pep used to speak about at Aston Villa, he used to do it so well. Um,
yeah,
I
but
think
then
I think
again,
he got excited. Media got excited with he was the most fouled player. While thingy, because he was the most fouled player because he was the go-to person for the team attack wise.
yeah,
So yes, so he is gonna rack up fouls. So they were
yeah.
driving that Uguti is the most foul player. What does that mean? That means that he's the most influential player in the game. And you sit back and like, no, but gents, if he is
but
the player in the side,
but Jack had a lot of touches in opposition box.
Yeah.
Jack was one of the highest players with touches in opposition box, and that says a lot. Chelsea had one, I think it was one touch in the opposition box during the game against City, and that's
no,
it. That was
it
that was
wasn't.
during
It wasn't.
that was
It
during
wasn't
a
a good
corner.
showing
Even.
for his.
Yeah. I know, Chets.
So
Yeah, guys, like, yo, we went well past the time, but yeah, like, but I like how this was so interactive and the gems that were dropped here, very valuable gems. Thank you so much for availing yourselves, Jets. And yeah,
Before we
Masika
guys,
go,
wanted to
before
say
we,
something.
yeah,
before we go, two, two,
yeah,
two teams that are really irritating me right now: Liverpool and Arsenal. They are
yeah,
abusing this rule of postponing games because of COVID. They literally nitpicking which games they want to play and which games they don't want to play. And it's starting to get to a point where you look at Leeds. Leeds had 11 senior players that were injured,
okay,
but they didn't bicker. They didn't go, no, we've got a COVID outbreak in the team. we won games. They just got on with it and played football, and that was that. Because I was looking at the available Arsenal players that could have played over the weekend against Spurs. Those players are to the value of 190 million, but yet still they're saying they don't have enough players to field for the derby, which I think is ridiculous. Same thing that Liverpool did to Arsenal, where now they're coming back and saying, well, all the tests that are coming back are false positive tests. It's getting ridiculous. At some point, there just need to be a rule that states we can't postpone these games. Because right now, we've had 21 postponed games. At what point are we going to catch up with these games? If teams can decide they don't want to play this, they don't want to play this for now because they're seeing that their sides are not the strongest of sides. Anyway, that was my quick rant before you go.
Burnley have only played 17 games. Burnley have only played 17 games. They're sitting at the lost in the log, mind you. Yeah, they lost in the log, mind you, because they've only played 17 games.
Yeah, they have a lot in hand. Yeah,
it's honestly it's bullcrap, and I respect Klopp, but I don't care much for Arteta, but I think Arteta has learned from Klopp. He can pick up the games that he wants to play if his side is on the up.
Yeah.
If his side is on the up, he plays the games. If the question mark, he doesn't want to play. We postpone, which is bullcrap, I think.
Yeah. I know, man. Hey, no worries, man. Hopefully, this postponement nonsense ends eventually, guys, and we get this thing rolling because really, it's way too many, and it's killing us on fantasy league, man. And Arsenal bought that a double game week now.
Bro, I kept it more. I mean, Wes.
Yo, damn.
Wes.
It's just, and who's your vice captain?
Kane, Wes.
Kane. Oh,
West. It's a postpone la game, but uthi ngisisakaze phansi baba. Thatha ifoni ngihlale ngishiposte ebondweni. Because that was terrible.
It is, dog.
Terrible.
And as well, games have already begun, dog. The game week has kicked off.
Kicked off. Yo, mfethu.
I'm better. I captain Rudiger, and the vice captain is Dennis. So that's not bad.
Yeah, we're talking 4 points, Nyana.
Yeah, 4 points, Nyana, man.
But anyway, Spurs have a double game week, so yeah.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, I captain Bruno, so yeah, 14 times 2.
Oh, push it.
But anyway, gents, take care.
Chance.
Okay.
Peace out.
It was good.
Sure.
Sure.